Guardians, what is up? My name is Griffith and welcome to the video. Today we'll be going over one of my favorite 100 builds that is even better with the release of the Edge of Fate DLC. So sit back, enjoy the video, but before we jump in, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss any updated builds or breakdowns of the Edge of Fate DLC. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Now, looking over our exotic of choice is going to be the young Ahamkara spine with the exotic perk Wish Dragon Teeth. And to put simply, it just gives you a lot more grenades. Ability damage also grants trip mine grenade energy. So with that being said, let's hop on into the subclass. Starting off with the abilities, first things first, Blade Barrage is going to be your super. Me personally, I do like Blade Barrage a lot more. And this also does tie back into the young Ahamkara spine, which I will get into that later. Your dodge of choice is going to be Gambler's Dodge. You don't really have too much choice here just because whenever you do dodge, you get your full melee back. Triple jump, this is kind of just personal preference. Knife trick is going to be the melee of choice just because each instance of the knife, so all three knives are going to do ability damage. They're all coded as their own damage, not just one. So that again is going to tie back into Ahamkara spine. And then obviously we're going to be using trip mine grenades to use the Ahamkara spine. Now getting into the aspects. Number one is going to be knock him down. Simply put, your Blade Barrage is going to have more projectiles, and then whenever you are radiant, your throwing knife, kills with your throwing knife are going to fully refund your melee energy. So what that is going to look like, I just kind of put up a red bar here in the brand new shooting range that Bungie has provided us. Whenever you get a kill, you become radiant, you get your full melee back. So if you got it while you're radiant, just get like I get full kills, full melee. Yeah. And then the other one we're going to choose is On Your Mark. Now, I was kind of skeptical of going with On Your Mark. You do get an extra fragment slot, but I remember back in the day, I did use Gunpowder Gamble with this build. And honestly, either one of these are going to do fine for you. On Your Mark, activating your class ability or getting precision final blows grants you and your nearby allies increased weapon handling and reload speed for a short duration, which stacks 3 times. And then precision final blows while at 3 stacks makes you radiant for a short time. There's nothing really there besides the three fragment slots that you really want. If you want an extra ability to kind of juggle with everything like that, Gunpowder Gamble is also a really good way to go. You get one less fragment slot, but I did use this back in the day and it worked really well. Now going into our fragments, a no-brainer is going to be Ember of Ashes. Just applying more scorch stacks to get that ignition off. Ember of Torches, powered melee attacks against combatants makes you and your nearby allies radiant, which ties back into Knife Trick and Knock Him Down. Next one's going to be Ember of Searing. Your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. Obviously, with the Trip Mine, you're applying Scorch. With Knife Trick, you're applying Scorch. So those two abilities are going to in turn give your class ability faster regen whenever you have both of those. I chose Ember Resolve as the last kind of like mandatory one you kind of need. I mean, it's not mandatory, but Solar Grenade final blows cure you. There's just a little bit of instance of healing that goes a long way. Now, if you are using On Your Mark, like I said, you do get that extra ability fragment slot. I chose Ember of Beams, but you could honestly, there's a lot of good things here that you could choose. You could go with Ember of Eruption. Your soul ignitions have increased area of effect. Again, this more so is going to be going with add clear kind of a build with this. You could use where is it at? For that last fragment slot, you can kind of go with whatever you feel like you want to go with. I just chose beams just because better target acquisition, and then plus 10 super is also not a bad thing. All that being said, with the class ability, let's go on with our armor mods. Now in the head slot, you definitely want to go with the Ashes to Assets, and then hands-on, these two are kind of, you could Ashes to Assets, you definitely want gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. And then I just did this one because I do like going around throwing my melee at a bunch of red bars and everything like that. So this one right here, gain bonus super energy on melee kills. And I just kind of went with the harmonic cipher just because I didn't have any room for these two, for like for one of these two. Moving on to the gloves themselves, gonna go with a firepower for sure. Whenever you do get grenade final blows, you create an orb of power. That's just kind of another way to get orbs of power. And then I'm kind of testing out what I want to do with my secondary slot. I'm right now going with the melee font. This will literally give you, once you are armor charged, you get, I believe it's 20 extra stats in whatever kind of mod you go with. So with this, I'll have an extra 20 melee, bring me up to 91. It would be better if I can get that up to 100, but right now with everyone going into new armor, our stats aren't the best right now. Still trying to get up to level 200 to get higher armor tiers, to get better stat allocations. This is kind of just what I'm going with right now. With your chest piece, you kind of go with whatever resistance you're facing with. I also put an ammo regen just because I'm using a solar heavy, or whatever heavy you go with, you can use these ammo generation ones. With the leg piece, recuperation used to be kind of the way to go, literally every build, but recuperation was nerfed from, I think it used to be 70 health. I think now it's like 30 or 40. So not that good anymore. Plus, again, you have Ember Resolve, so grenade final blows give you cure, so you don't necessarily need the recuperation that you get from the leg mods. I just kind of went with Orbs Restoration. Picking up Orb of Power grants a small amount of energy to your ability with the least energy, which more than likely will be the melee. That's what I've kind of ran into whenever I've been running activities and everything like that. Sometimes it could be the melee, sometimes it could be the class ability. You almost always have your grenade if you are hitting bosses and everything like that, getting those combustions and ignitions. Stacks on stack just kind of give you an extra stack of armor charge whenever you are picking up things for your melee font. And then I just went with Solar Scavenger. And then on the class item, definitely want to go with Reaper. Reaper's, I always put Reaper on most of my class builds. Bomber, I went with 2 bombers just because after you use your class ability, you get, I think it's 66% grenade energy. So that is also really great. You could take one of these out, put a time dilation in here just to have more time for your melee to have, better melee regeneration. But I just went with 2 bombers for the moment. And then moving on to weapons, you could literally run whatever you want. This build isn't really weapon dependent. Back in the day for boss damage and everything like that, I always put on a Dragon's Breath and some sort of area denial frame or your actual boss damage, and then hand cannon, or use whatever solar primary you want. You could switch this out for like an Apex Predator or some sort of like solar LMG if you have one, or if one ever does come out for the seasonal boost and everything like that. But for the most part, the weapons are kind of literally whatever you want to run. So there's that. And then as far as stat distribution goes, you definitely want to get 200 grenade as fast as humanly possible. 200 grenade is definitely what you want, just because if you have 200 grenade gives you 65% bonus damage in PvE, and of course more damage is always nice. After that, I feel like having at least 70 melee stat, definitely what you want to do. 70 melee, you could go higher than 70, you could go to 100, but 100% 70 melee, what you want for that dodge to refund back your entire melee, because I'll even show you. With Edge of Fate, you don't even need to be near an enemy to activate that the instance of getting your melee back. So again, melee stat to 70 or above, and then you could dip into class as well. Class, maybe weapons. At that point, you just kind of do whatever. And for those who are wondering, here's the drip. I am going to be changing out this helmet here soon to, I think it's the new one you get from Zavala. It's this one right here with where's it at? This shader. This is the soon to be drip. I feel like this helmet's really sick. But yeah, this is all the transmog and everything that if you are interested. But with that all being said, guys, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the build. If you like it, please please let me know down in the comments below and tell me what build you want to see next. And other than that, see you guys later.